Hello, Flo. I wanted to bring up something interesting in the video where they were talking about segregation by income. Where they wanted to split the school and create a new school, but by creating this new school, it would actually create a segregated where the rich kids got the better, the got their own school, and the poor kids had their own school. Not on purpose, not on purpose, of course, but if they had created the school, it would create segregation. And this is what I want to talk about in more or less in my realization because I found something very interesting in China. And it's a very unique problem here. Basically, China has the same kind of issue where in the city, the apartments are so expensive. And being next to a school even makes the apartment even more expensive because the better the school, the more people want to live there. So it drives the price up naturally. So to give you a general idea how expensive a house is, it could be $700,000 just for a two-bedroom apartment, sorry. And that's like the lowest, put it that way. Versus if it was next to a good school, it can range anywhere up to $2 million. Not joking. So of course, naturally, you have this big segregation of people who can afford housing and people who cannot afford housing. And those people who can afford housing live in those areas. So you have a very standardized level of income students where they don't have, okay, if you're this rich, you can go to this school because you live in this area. You can afford this area. Or if you're in a poorer school, you live down here and the teachers are not as great, they're less experienced. So China wanted to change this issue because the housing market here is just going higher and higher due to parents wanting to have the best access to education for their students. Because here in China, education is everything because they have a high school test. And if you do not do well in the high school test, which is called the Gaokao, you are literally stuck in your place for the rest of your life. So the pressure to succeed is very high. And so China wanted to solve this problem of giving everyone an equal chance. And I thought this was very interesting because you can't necessarily move families around. That is just impossible. You're always going to have that exclusion where people can afford more than others. That's just a given fact. There's always going to be that. So China proposed an idea, which I'm actually in favor for, but it is very inconvenient for the school staff. And when I mean school staff, I mean teachers. Because what China has come up with is if we cannot move the students, let's move the teachers. So you have good teachers that always worked in good schools, and then you have the less experienced teachers where you started at this school. So what they're going to do is every 2 years is they're going to rotate the teachers into different schools. So if you're a good teacher here, you're going to go to this school. And if you're a less experienced teacher, you're going to go to this school. And so the less experienced teachers get to learn from better schools, and the higher and more experienced teachers can share their information with the schools that they go to that are not as well off. So it's a good way to share information, and also the students receive an equal level of education across the board, at least across in the city, because you always have the strong teachers moving around. So parents cannot essentially just buy the location to get good teachers. It's just, if you get a good teacher, you get a good one. If you don't get a good one, it's just a draw of the luck. It sounds messed up to say that in reality, but it gives everyone a fair chance because you do have those families who cannot afford as much. And to have the good teacher come down to their school and then help their program out would be a major thing. So I think they're going to introduce this next year, or they have not already introduced it. So we're going to see a lot of teachers moving to different areas of the city. Not convenient, especially here in China, but it is still doable, and for the foreseeable outcome, it is a better thing because more students will have access to higher education across the board. That's all I wanted to say for today, and I would like to know your thoughts on this.